come to Napoli. I have a feeling that after those words of you having money to invest, you're going to be the most popular person in this room after this lunch is over. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to be here, standing here today before such a distinguished group representing both sides of the Atlantic. I've always felt that this conference was built on the premise that entrepreneurship is the engine of prosperity wherever it is found. And our next speaker embodies that idea better than probably anyone that I know. It is my honor to introduce my good friend Kerrigan, who is president and CEO of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council in Washington, D.C. And I believe that has over 100,000 members, 125,000 members. That's a full-time job. For the past 3 decades, Karen has led the SBE Council with clarity of purpose that few organizations can match. Her council gives entrepreneurs a voice wherever they do business. They cut through the red tape that holds these business owners back, and they help policymakers better understand what it actually takes to build and run a business. Under her leadership, the SBE Council has become one of the most respected and effective small business advocacy organizations in the United States. They've helped to shape policy conversations on taxes, healthcare, regulation, and access to capital, and always with the entrepreneur's perspective front and center. Karen has spent her career, which you'll hear about, building bridges between business owners and lawmakers, between Washington, D.C. and Main Street, and as many of you will find out today, between the United States and Ireland. She has a rare gift for connecting people who should know each other, and a genuine belief that relationships are the foundation of good policy and good business. And speaking of Ireland, Karen's affection for the country runs deep. Last summer, she took her family on a trip there and came back with fantastic stories about the people, the history, and the unmistakable entrepreneurial spirit she encountered there. It is that same spirit that brings this room together today, a shared gift on both sides of the Atlantic that makes today's conversation so timely. So whether you're from New York City, Belfast, or somewhere in between, I think you'll find a kindred voice in Karen. So please join me now in giving a warm welcome to Karen Kerrigan.
Thank you. Well, greetings, everyone. It is such an honor to be here with you today. Thank you, Marcin, and to this amazing partnership for inviting me to be a part of it. It is very exciting to be here. And thank you, Brian, for that very gracious introduction. Brian and I go back a long, long way, and he has been a tremendous champion and advocate for the small to mid-sized business sector, a good educator, and over the years, actually, he's introduced me at several events, and so we go back quite a long way. So, Jack, back during the days when the Chicago Bulls sort of ran the floor in the NBA, he used to introduce me as the Michael Jordan, of small business. So I was a little disappointed today, given that when the New York Knicks have, brought back the championship here to New York City after 53 years, that I wasn't introduced as the Jalen Brunson of the small business community. But congratulations, to the Knicks. It is a very exciting time for New York. So again, it is a pleasure to be here among longtime friends, new ones, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and advocates who share a passion and a commitment to strengthening ties between Belfast and New York, two grand cities forged by resilience, reinvention, and of course the entrepreneurial spirit. And when we think about the relationship between these two great cities, we naturally and often think about history, heritage, and the remarkable contributions of the Irish diaspora. We think about the generations who crossed the Atlantic in search of opportunities. Individuals like my ancestors who settled here, right here, in New York City and pursued the American dream with gusto, but held Ireland close in their hearts and passed on that love and that pride and that heritage across generations through 150 years up to the current generation, and I have passed that on to my children as well. And like a good daughter, my daughter is a New York City resident. She was at the parade today. Definitely New York is in her DNA and all my children's DNA. And now Ireland is fully in their DNA as well. As Brian mentioned, we did go to Ireland last year, and it was my son Christopher who was lobbying us heavily to get up to Belfast. We only had 3 days, and we're not able to make it there. But he is the investment banker, he is the innovator in the family, so you are attracting the right talent. He wanted to go there, and I did promise him that we would go back. So underneath my story, and of course many stories, is another one that is very powerful and very important to me, and it is the story of entrepreneurs. The bridge between Belfast and New York was not built solely by governments and institutions and agreements. It was built by people willing to take risks. It was built by merchants. It was built by manufacturers, shopkeepers, innovators, investors, and small business owners who saw opportunity where others saw distance. Entrepreneurs and small business owners were the original bridge builders, and they remain among the most important bridge builders in our economy today. They are often described as the backbone of our economies. That's certainly true. They create jobs, generate investment, support families, and strengthen communities. In the US, small to mid-sized businesses represent 99% of all businesses. They create the bulk of new jobs and are responsible for the lion's share of innovation. They dominate every industry in the US, whether it's the energy industry, pharmaceutical, retail, technology, the list goes on. And I know they play a similar role in Belfast and right here in New York City. We have shared DNA. Both ecosystems have been built and are run on grit, risk-taking, trust, and adaptability. But business owners in our ecosystems play another important role. They are connectors. They are the bridge builders. Every trade relationship begins with the relationship between people. Every investment begins with trust. Every innovation ecosystem begins with individuals willing to collaborate, share ideas, and pursue opportunities together. That is why gatherings like this matter. It's about strengthening relationships that lead to commerce. It's about people creating networks that become partnerships, customers, suppliers, investors, and allies. And small businesses are uniquely positioned to make those connections happen because they are agile, innovative, and deeply rooted in their communities. They often see opportunities that larger firms miss. And increasingly, they are operating on a global stage. Indeed, it is a new era for entrepreneurship. The digital economy and its innovative platforms and tools have democratized opportunity. Small businesses and startups today are born global. And many entrepreneurs and business owners, with the help of technology and now AI, are finding markets selling abroad to customers that were not necessarily a part of their original business plan. And these micro multinationals, as we call them at SBE Council, are much, much more prevalent than official government statistics show. While US government data show that more than 270,000 small businesses participate in global trade, that's around 97% of all identified US exporters. An SBA report, Small Business Administration report in 2023, identified 1.3 million exporting small businesses, a 5-fold increase. Unfortunately, the US government data is missing trade activity tied to digital platforms, tied to the service sector, and many other aspects of the modern economy. So currently my organization, SBE Council, has research underway that will show that the government undercount, as well as that $1.3 million figure, is vastly, vastly low. And the number of micro multinationals is much, much higher. In 2025, U.S. small businesses exported over 330 million items from Amazon's platform alone. That's one platform, minus all the other platforms or the businesses that handle international shipping on their own, or again, the service economy and other aspects of the modern economy. The point is that entrepreneurs and small businesses are fueling millions of global connections and relationships each and every day. And this is activity and opportunity that governments must recognize, they must count, they must support, and they must encourage. And when I look at our trade programs here in the US, there are many fine ones. There are some good ones, but also there are those that are misaligned with what is actually happening in the marketplace, in the real marketplace. As you know, a software developer in Belfast can serve customers in New York on the day a product actually launches. A creator in Brooklyn can collaborate with a design team in Belfast in real time. And a small manufacturer can market products globally through AI-enabled platforms or by building their own AI stack that now allows firms with 10 to 15 employees to do the work of firms with 50 to 75. This new era of entrepreneurship creates extraordinary opportunities for both Belfast and New York. And thankfully, both cities and its people, entrepreneurs, you, understand the opportunity, the value, and also the importance of talent and innovation. And both understand that economic growth and opportunity increasingly comes from connecting ideas and people across borders. The Belfast-New York relationship has endured because it has been grounded in shared values. And these values built bridges across an ocean, they build businesses, they build communities, and prosperity. And today, a new generation of entrepreneurs is carrying that tradition forward. We are now the high-speed bridge builders, building new connections to commerce, to community, and culture. As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, we at SBE Council, through a series called America 250, are reminding Americans about the vital role that small businesses played in our nation's founding. Not only were the bulk of the U.S. signers of the U.S. Constitution small business owners, but thousands of business owners, printers, cafes, and merchants, the tradespeople, during that period were the connectors, and they were the funders of America's independence. And I would be remiss if I did not point out that the Belfast Newsletter in August of 1776 was the first newspaper outside of the U.S. to publish the full text of the U.S. Declaration of Independence. So, thank you. And then there was John Dunlap, a Northern Ireland native who fought alongside George Washington and was also a very well-known printer and publisher. Dunlap, on the order of John Hancock, printed the newly agreed-to Declaration of Independence. So it is with this spirit of shared heritage, pride, optimism, opportunity, and love of connectivity that I close by saying I look forward to building a stronger bridge with this partnership in Belfast to advance our shared goals to create new opportunities and prosperity for generations to come. So thank you so much again.